California now moving one step closer to becoming the first state in America to legalize marijuana for recreational use, not just for medicine, recreation. There's a lot of money on the line, and Jane Wells is following the story. You all right, Jane? Or your eyes look a little glazed over?
Oh, no. It's a lack of coffee, Aaron. That's the reason. You know, the state is facing a $20 billion deficit, and now may be the time that voters decide to make what is believed to be California's largest crack cash crop, perhaps worth $14 billion, bring it out of the shadows and put it into the tax system. It does appear that there are enough signatures to put an initiative on the ballot in November to make it legal for anyone in California over the age of 21 to possess an ounce of marijuana for recreational purposes. Licensed businesses could sell it. Some of the pot industry claim the crop could contribute $1 billion a year in taxes, though it's not clear if that's based on current pot prices, which would probably come down if legal. And others cite the costs of the war on drugs.
You know, the millions of dollars that we're losing in costs and revenue regarding enforcement of marijuana laws, and the money's being made on the black market, I think the public's sick of that.
It's really important that you write it down so you don't forget.
Now, the force behind the initiative is Richard Lee, who runs what you're seeing at Oaksterdam University in the Bay Area, where people learn how to run medical marijuana businesses, and he's bringing in high-powered help to win support. But you'd be high to think this is a slam dunk. Opponents are organizing with groups like Nip It in the Bud 2010, and some inside the industry itself may not support going legal. Some in the heart of pot country have been off the grid so long they're very distrustful of government. They're afraid that big tobacco is going to move in and put them out of business. And also many communities up there depend on the charitable contributions from this illegal industry. If it is legalized, tax, big tobacco comes in, the price comes down, there will be less money for those nonprofits. It's a huge issue, Aaron. In fact, they had a big community meeting in Humboldt County just this week where they're trying to get ahead of it in case it becomes legal, and they're thinking of borrowing a page from Napa and opening up marijuana tasting rooms if this happens. Back to you.
There was so much in that conversation. I don't even know where to begin my comments, but a lot for me to think about. Thank you, Jane.
Good.
Very interesting on that. Charitable donations, actually. I'm curious what people think about it. Email us. But in the meantime, let's follow up on what Jane said to talk about whether legalizing marijuana is the answer to California's budget woes or not, or will the costs associated with legalization void the boost in tax revenue to the state. Aaron Smith is California Policy Director for the Marijuana Policy Project. Calvina Fay is Executive Director of the Drug Free America Foundation. I think from their titles, you can tell which side of this debate they may be on. Aaron, let's start with you. What do you think?
Well, we're really optimistic about this initiative coming up in November. Voters are increasingly seeing that marijuana prohibition has been a miserable policy failure for California and the nation. There's marijuana available on nearly every high school campus in California, yet we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars a year arresting responsible adults who choose to use marijuana at the end of the day instead of alcohol. And this initiative is a great step in the right direction towards regulating and controlling this very popular substance, frankly.
Calvina, he makes a point that people use it instead of alcohol, which is societally accepted and has some negative side effects as well. But I know your view is that there are serious side effects to marijuana.
We think this proposed initiative is an extremely bad idea. First of all, legalizing it is not going to solve either our drug problem, nor is it going to solve the economical problems that we're going through as a nation right now. And in fact, will make both of those issues worse. It will send the wrong message to children, no doubt. It will say that society has accepted it. It will say that it can't be that harmful because it's legal. If you look at the tobacco and the alcohol issue, our two legal drugs, they are costing us far more in societal issues than we're making in revenue. So there's no way the little million plus that they claim they would make by legalizing, taxing, and regulating marijuana could make up for what it's costing us in societal issues. We'd have more users. That's already been estimated that the number of users would increase about 30%. If you look at the numbers in 2005 in California, substance abuse issues cost the state something like $44 billion, far more than they would generate in tax revenue. So if we have an increase, that's going to go up.
Aaron, what do you make about that point? Do you accept that number that usage could increase by 30%?
No. We've seen, for example, in the Netherlands, where marijuana is available through coffee shops, use among teens is a third what it is here in the United States, where we're arresting 800,000 people a year for marijuana. And, you know, Calvina can make these comparisons to tobacco and alcohol, and she probably has a point talking about the societal cost of tobacco and alcohol. But we're talking about marijuana, which is not tobacco and alcohol, and in fact is by far, by every possible objective measure, safer than tobacco or alcohol.
It may be, but if everyone walked around stoned all the time, I mean, you know, you go to certain places where they chew, what is it, cat, in places like Yemen, and society grinds to a halt.
Well, we're not advocating people walk around stoned all the time. You know, what we're saying is that this is a substance that's already widely available. Anybody who wants to use it is already using it. And should we keep this substance in a criminal underground market where it's controlled by gangs and thugs, or should we bring it into a regulated, controlled marketplace where we can have governmental oversights and reap the tax dollars available from that market?
Quick final word to you, Calvina. Do you agree with that? He has a point there. It's regulated, and in a sense, that keeps it out of the world of organized crime.
No, I absolutely don't agree. First of all, marijuana is not a harmless drug. It's the #1 drug that our children are in treatment for today. And legalizing it for adults certainly ignores the fact that we'd still have a black market that would very, very heavily target their remaining market, and that would be our children, because we're not talking about making it legal for children, just as the tobacco industry has targeted our children in the alcohol industry. Okay. So legalizing is not going to fix that problem. It's going to make it worse.
All right, Aaron, Calvina, thank you very much. Still not enough to entice me to try it. Okay, brief break. First, though, your trend of the day.